Hi, this is John at Urban Greens, and this will be my first video. I'm making this to share on YouTube to hopefully bring some new gardening insight to people and help people with things. And I know there's a lot of stuff out there already, but a little bit more experiential information never hurt anything. So I'll give you a tour of my garden for this first video, and you can see the things that I have going on this year. This is the first year that I've done any real gardening, honestly, and I've researching and practicing and experimenting like mad. And so this is what I have so far. Over behind me, actually, you'll see the cubic yard of organic OMRI certified compost that I got from Sonoma Compost in the Bay Area here in California. Here's a bunch of pallets I got for free off Craigslist. These were going to be used for some raised beds that I haven't made yet, but you know, that's still an option. Ignore those down there. I don't actually use those. Somebody just set them out there. I actually garden organically. Here's some Swiss chard. One of them is bolting because it was originally out in the hotter area, and so I put it here hoping that it would keep the others from bolting, and I've been considering pulling this one out, but I kind of want to see what it does and maybe get some seed from it or something. I had a leaf miner problem with these for a long time, and you can actually see there's still a little bit of leaf miner damage there. But what you do for that is you just go underneath and scrape off the eggs as you find them. Like these little guys here. Let's see if I can get this to focus. They're little clusters of 5 or 6 little white eggs. Just rub them off and then kill the maggots if you see them. Now here's what I actually started out with. This is a quarter wine barrel with a whole bunch of basil, some leeks, some oregano, some thyme, eggplant. We got some celery in 2 small containers. I need to move those, but honestly the celery is not my highest priority. Serrano chili peppers for Indian cooking. I know they're not probably the ideal, but it's what I like to use for it, so that's why I got that plant. Some rosemary. Here's a stevia plant. This is actually quite delicious. You can just eat the leaves right off of it, or you can put them in some tea, or really use them in a lot of different ways as a natural sweetener, sugar substitute, non-sugar really. Here's a patty pan zucchini that's actually taken off. I got this from the Vallejo People's Garden where I volunteer. Over here you'll see some big old, previously hydroponic containers of some sort, but now they're full of compost and some Roma tomatoes. They're coming along okay. I got these for free at a hydroponic store in Emeryville. Here is a rain barrel cut in half with a large eggplant inside of it. You can actually see we've got a nice blossom on there. So hopefully that turns into an eggplant. And then here's all my corn. I have 2 varieties of sweet corn. And to do this, I honestly just kind of dug up the earth a bit and mixed in some good soil and stuff and planted starts, and they really took off better than I expected in the clay soil that I have here. So we have some sweet corn jubilee and some peaches and cream is what it's called on the left. So yeah, those are looking good. And then I also wanted to try out one of these grow bags, which has aeration that goes through the sides, and that allows for air pruning and actually makes more efficient use of the space because the roots are able to grow in such a way that they don't spiral and get locked up. And what we have in here on this side are 2 sweet pumpkins. They are small sugar pumpkins that I got from Sank Farms in Petaluma for $1.50 each. And then here is a Kakai pumpkin, which is a holeless seed pumpkin. So when you open that up, once it's all done, the seeds actually don't have any shells on them. And that'll be interesting. And then behind me, I actually have sugar snap pea plant. I was told when I put this in and it was still young that it probably wouldn't work out too well since it's going into the summer months. But honestly, it's been fine so far. You can see I've got giant peas and new peas forming. There's peas all over this thing, and they're all really delicious. So I guess whoever warned me of that was not necessarily correct. Like, this couldn't be the ideal time, but it still works, apparently. And then I wanted to try one of these topsy-turvy things, and it was on sale for $2 at Ace Hardware, so I did. I've since read some things online that say it's not ideal. I don't remember the exact reasons, and I'll look into that and maybe post them in the comments or something. But it still seems to be doing okay. This is actually one of my healthier Roma plants. Again, I'm growing a lot of Romas because I like to use them for sauces when I cook Indian food. So yeah, I have probably 4 or 5 of those actually, but I do have some heirlooms as well. Here is a planter I actually made out of a cabinet turned on its side. You can see we have a black cherry heirloom tomato. We have a couple tree collards that I'm hoping will take off. I'm not sure if they will or not. And then we have a big rainbow, and these ones are actually looking pretty good. I think they're taken to this, it's just straight compost in here. I didn't mix anything else. Maybe some people would recommend adding some things like perlite or cocoa coir or peat moss for extra drainage. But once you get the soil a little bit dampened, you get it mixed up and stuff, the water actually drains through it a lot better. At first you might have some hydrophobic soil issues, which is what I've had. But it's really not that bad. Right here we have a sun gold. It had some mites on it, but I actually sprayed it with an organic oil-based spray, and it looks like it probably killed a lot of them. And then lastly, over here we have another Kakai pumpkin. This is just, I got 2 originally, and there's not enough space in the grow bag, so put it here. Got a little bit of a droopy leaf, because it, I don't know, it doesn't want to take to this as well, but definitely looks a lot better than it did a couple days ago. So I think in a little bit more time, it'll be a-okay. And this planter is actually just a Rubbermaid container that I didn't quite cut it in half. I cut the bottom off and then just put it on the ground, so it has a big open bottom. Filled it with compost, and now it's fine. And then lastly, you can see all this construction equipment. You can see those fence posts over there. Well, all of that came together in the last couple of days to build this. This is actually made entirely out of old 2x4s and old fence posts from that fence over there. A friend and I built this over the course of an afternoon and a morning. And now we got 3 Romas and 1 yellow pear and 1 bush bean all growing. I could actually probably fit some more stuff, but this is just what I had that needed to be transplanted, and I put it in here, and so far so good. Everything seems to be pretty happy. Yeah. Oh, we also have an apricot tree that's obviously pretty small. And then over here we have a peach tree as well. Nothing to write home about, but eventually it'll be a nice addition. This will be all kept up over the next few years as they get larger, so once they do get big, I think I have a pretty nice thing going on. So yeah, that's it for the day 1, video 1 tour of my garden. This is just kind of a preliminary, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what's going on, here's some of my strategies. And as I go, my hope is to provide people with resources to help them do this more easily. As I've gone through this process, I found, a lot of my friends and people who I didn't ever think would really be into gardening have shown a lot of interest in what I'm doing. And the more success I find, and the more they come over and see how my backyard gets turned from kind of a dump into a pretty nice place to hang out and eventually a nice place to get food, I think it can really inspire a lot of people. So I'm hoping that if I can even help a few people with these videos, then time well spent. And if not, well, it's a learning process for me, so that's perfectly fine. Oh, I forgot one thing. I actually have these cool Malabar red spinach, and it's not a true spinach, it's actually close to a succulent, and it vines. It's a vine spinach, so I actually have it growing up this bird feeder, and it has about five loops around it, but I think eventually it'll go all the way to the top. It'll look like a living bird feeder. Got another one down there that's hopefully going to go up this trellis, but I don't know. And then over there, you can see the trellis against the wall. There's actually another one that's starting to take off. And then in the shadow, there's a compost heap, which is where I try to put all my compostables so that I can reuse them in the months to come once they become compost, like that stuff over there. So, yep, that concludes my tour. Thanks for spending your time watching it, and I hope that in the future I can bring you more helpful videos. Alright, that's it for now. Bye.